We are Venom. But due to international copyright laws, we're not. So, we are Venin. Ugh.
The deluxe Insecticons. Now there's quite a story. So, back in the 80s, when Hasbro was taking toys from Takara to turn into characters for their silly little TV show, they took the Insecticons from the Diaclone toy line, which Diaclone was basically a mech suit with a pilot. No character. So like the pilot was a character, but then Hasbro took them and turned them into actual characters themselves. Well, they also took toys from other toy lines, including ones by Bandai. Were like Jetfire, Whirl, Roadbuster, the deluxe Insecticons, and did the same thing, except Bandai doesn't have a working agreement with Hasbro like Takara does. So Bandai still has international copyright over most things Hasbro took from them. So like that's why when Jetfire went on the cartoon, he had to be changed into Skyfire. Or Skyfire, Jetfire, can't remember which one, but like they had to change his face and change his name to get around the copyright. And the same goes with this deluxe Insecticon. Obviously we know who Venom is. So they originally named him Venom in the 80s, but now with this modern version they can't. So we get the incredibly lame name of Venin. You change the O to an I and the M to an N. Lazy, but I'll take it. And this is the only one of the 4 deluxe Insecticons I've picked up, as opposed to 3 regular Insecticons. Because those other 4 Generations deluxe Insecticons are literally just repaints with possibly new heads of the Insecticons that we already got. So they weren't really interesting to me. Like Ransack, I can't remember who else, but Venin is a whole new mold. So I decided to pick him up because he's a whole new mold. And I'm not 100% sure what insect he is. He gives me grasshopper, or maybe like vibes with the wings and the color scheme being green and red and orange. But like the legs, the 6 legs, he is in fact a cicada, which I was going to go with grasshopper or cicada. And good to know my second option was technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. So he's a cicada. He's the thing that you hear when it gets really hot. The chirping you hear that you think is the sun, those are cicadas. And that's this thing, only roboticized. So let's give a look at the face. I'm not sure what part of the face is the actual face. Because, spoiler alert, the thing that looks like a mouth is his robot mode face. And those things on the side of his head that look like growths, I think are actually supposed to be his eyes. Nope, no. It's like opening your mouth and there's a second set of eyes in your mouth. Just like I don't want to see out of my mouth. I don't want to know what my mouth looks at all day. I know what my eyes look at all day. Things poorly without my glasses. He's got a tight bod. Appreciate how compact he is. Now everything's sort of tucked in. And this color scheme is a thing. I guess it's insect accurate, close enough. It does have a Decepticon badge there, and some nice translucent red wings, which you can spread out and rotate about. Articulation-wise, the wings are on 2 hinges, and each of these legs is on a ball joint, so you can adjust them. Although I find if you spread them, like put them as close to the ground as you can, he tends to lean back. Like, he doesn't tend to sit flat unless they're as flat as you can get. And the wings just tab in to those little slots on its abdomen. Or, what is the insect term for that? I'm not sure. And he does have 2 accessories. This melee looking thing, and this very obviously a gun. And I know what the gun's doing, but in this mode, unless you put it in his mouth, which is, mind you, is more eyes, there's no real, like, you have to crawl up to it and shank somebody, I guess. I don't have any other bugs around me for size comparison, so we're just going to go straight into transformation. So move the wings out of the way, and then we're going to open the legs. At the same time, making sure these pieces are out of the way, and then you're going to fold down so it forms a shin. And then fold that piece and fold the foot out. You might need to get a small tool in there to help you. There we go. And the same thing on the other side. There's this tiny little gray flap that hinges for, I'm not sure why. And now we're just gonna fold up the other foot. Come to the arms. Do want to extend them at the shoulder and extend them at the elbow while flipping the hand out. They don't really lock in very well, especially when they come off the joint. But rotate them down, and also put the wings behind his back, and then just mess with the bug legs however you choose. But to finish off, rotate the head and fold it down. And there you've got Venin in his robot mode. Now that's not a bad transformation. It does a lot of standard things, but like the shoulders actually extend outwards. That's a pretty cool touch. Mind you, it does unfortunately leave some hollow forearms, but you can deal with it. And yeah, now you can see that the mouth is a visor. And unfortunately, it doesn't have light piping. It feels like he should. And like you could figure the only way he might have light piping is like through the insect mode eyes. If these, but as far as I can tell, they don't do that. So like, sure, it's accurate to the original toy, but like, how did you fail light piping so hard? Like, you could have had light piping in both modes. It says you got this stupid proboscis? Something. Because it's not really useful. Well, I guess if you flick it down instead of tuck it all the way in, he might use it in insect mode. Also, now the arms basically look like wings. So, like, I think he's got too many wings. He got these wings, which are vestigial at this point. Like, they go absolutely nowhere. And then these, which look like wings. Like, he's got 6 individual wings. So is he, like, ultimate level? It's only a reference my Digimon fandom will understand. Or has he got 8 wings, so he's like mega level? I don't know. He does have articulation. The head is on a swivel joint and a up and down neck joint from the beast mode. So at least he can look around now. Shoulders, universal. They do kind of clash. Get stuck by... Ay. Now they don't, because I didn't extend them far enough out. But you do get universal motion outward. Shoulder as well. The wrist has separated from the arm again. You have an elbow bend and a bicep swivel. And a backwards, because the transformation. No wrist joint, but he does have that. There's a waist joint. Unhindered. Hips are universal. They can go that high when you bend the knee. Which also slots in perfectly on the shin. That looks cool. Thigh swivel and that aforementioned knee bend, which is super deep. But that's puzzle piece level of just the right spot. Ankle has a massive pivot, and I guess this counts as a toe joint. But you also have a bit of forward and back on the big orange chunk as well, which doesn't seem necessary, but it's cool. So I kind of like Venin. I don't know if he is enough to want me to get the rest of the deluxe Insecticons, which were like a 2-pack, and I forget which wave had the other one. But I think he's cool on his own. He might stand with the regular Insecticons, the black and purple ones. He's apparently, I don't know if he's a leader of just his group or a leader of them all. But yeah, he's kind of cool. I'm glad he's not legend scale, which doesn't exist anymore, but like, oh no, all 3 of them got deluxe re-releases, like deluxe updates. I forgot about those. And now they're doing that 4-pack with the 3 of them with more cartoon accurate decos, including the Bombshell with the gray chest and a Skywarp using the Earthrise mold before the Studio Series mold comes out. And the only thing that makes me want that set even a little bit is the gray-chested Bombshell and the Energon cubes it comes with. Nothing in Generations has ever come with actual Energon cubes. So, like, I kind of want those Energon cubes. Yeah, he did have an accessory, right? He had this gun-looking thing. And this sort of crude tomahawk, perhaps? Kind of melee weapon. But there is... Get back in there. This port at the back of the weapon, which... if you do this... now he gets a full-sized... I want to say it's like a battle axe, probably. Or just a standard wood-cutting axe. But this is kind of hilarious. A bug with an axe to grind. always a sucker for like combining accessories, so this is a nice kind of thing. You can also, I've just tried it now for the first time, pop how many of his, all of his legs off of his back, as if you were a cruel little child playing with a spider. Should have grabbed Black Arachnia. Now you can have a much cleaner look, I guess, and stick his wings in his armpits. But now I want to see a Transformers recreation of The Shining. But the axe on the door, like, here's JonTron. That not. Here's Venin. So he's pretty cool. He's not I won't say mandatory purchase if you have no connection to the deluxe Insecticons. If you like insects and you like transforming ones, then I'm sure he'll float your boat, so to speak, before he hacks it to pieces. Now that I think about it, I should have been wearing like a Canadian tuxedo for this. If we're gonna do lumberjack things, but no, I am not a lumberjack. Although it is in my name, half of it at least. So, but it's cool. Have I bugged you enough to purchase it yet? Huh? Have I bugged you? Am I bugging you? Do I have cameras all around your place that are you bugged? Probably not. But you might have thought about it for a split second. Till next time. Outward splits. He can do the outward splits. This one's a bit creaky, actually. Huh. He might need to WD-40 that. Till next time. There has to be a Kamen Rider that's a cicada, right? Somewhere. Cicada. Normally grasshoppers or things, so there has to be one that's based off a cicada. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but keep it weird. May I ask you a question? I can't hear you. Bye.